Oh, we're live. A lot to do today, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing. To be honest with you, to be completely honest, no idea. No clue. But we're gonna power through this. I want to thank everybody up front for watching, subscribing, watching the video, the ads in the video, and not skipping them. That's how we get paid here, ladies and gentlemen. So I appreciate you not just skipping them. Charge my watch. My back is still hurting, so I don't know how long I'm going to stay in on this today, to be honest with you. I'll try my best. Try my best. Let's see. Let me see what I'm trying to do here. Haas is here in the house. Big Haas. Boss Haas. Something Haas. But I'm not greeting everybody as they come in. Whoa. That's pretty harsh. But I get it. I get it. Screw these people. I understand what you're doing. These people want to talk to you, buddy. They got to say it first. Or something like that. You want to talk to me? Then guess what? Then you're going to talk to me or something. What's something Jen said? I don't know. That's the problem. I get so much crap to do. I got off to a bad start. Last night was not, I did not sleep well. Very stressed and depressed, which is probably, I would say, a bad combination. I would imagine. So I need to do some writing. I did a little bit of writing this morning. I also need to. I screwed up and I uploaded the wrong video. Bigfoot, I'm sure we'll get to all of those, Haas. It's only me and you right now. We got to wait till the whole group comes in so we can have a lively discussion. Yeah, so there's just a lot of stuff I have to do today. And try to settle down and get some writing in. I'm waiting for a couple of emails back. Sent out a couple of short stories yesterday. Lively discussion is here. Yo, Joe. I don't think there's literally anybody in here named Joe. You are in the wrong YouTube live, Mr. Edler. There's not a Joe around here. There's not a Joe for miles. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to stay in either because my back Fucking hurting. Hey, Tom, thanks for sticking me with this stupid dog. Growling at my cat growling back last night. I thought they were going to get into a fight. Like, I can't do, mentally, I can't do this. I don't need a second dog in the house. Bad enough I have one dog. That dog is at least fine. This dog is way too big, stares at me. I'm very uncomfortable. I do not like dogs. I have a irrational fear of dogs, no matter how big or small. But this dog is like 30 pounds, and it looks like a menace. And it's all jumpy and stuff. It's very, very shy. But then anytime you move, the dog pops his head up and stares at you. I'm like, stop looking at me. Haas says, I finally finished my second story late last night. First draft is still finished. Awesome. Congratulations. Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. Knowing is actually might be 6/10 of the battle. I've heard wiser people say. The more you know. Yeah, America. Just finished the book review video. Sorry I'm late. That's okay, Keith. That video was supposed to go up this afternoon, and a writing video was supposed to go up this morning, and I totally forgot, and then I posted the wrong, and I was like, just going to leave it. I'll post the other one later, see what happens. That's one to grow on. Those were great. There is no Joe. Everybody stop with the Joe. So, yeah, I'm all over the place right now today. It's also a little warm. 83 degrees outside already. It says it's like, feels like 90. Well, then just say 90. Just say 90. Knowing half the battle, you follow it with, yo, Joe. Exactly. I think that's what you have to do. Keith, I started your book last night. I only got a couple of chapters in because I was very worked up about this dog being in my house and waking up in the middle of the night with the cat, one of my cats, in the dog's teeth, because they were stink eyeing each other for a couple of hours there. But I read through the first couple chapters, and I'm going to tell you right now. Have you ever read Dweller by Jeff Strand? Because I'm 100% getting that vibe. And I like it. That was a good book. Dweller was a good book. It's basically about a boy who befriends a Bigfoot type monster in the woods behind his house. And then they become friendly, and then you got to read the book. Chad Lutsky in the house. Haas, I thought you weren't going to say morning to anybody. What are you doing? I know of Dweller, but never read it. It definitely has those vibes for fans of Dweller. That would be the. That's all right, Haas. I mean, just when you lie about something, then you become a liar. Big son. Chad Lutsky in the house. Ugh. Chad Lutsky in the house. Yeah, Frank's already here, which is weird, right? Frank hasn't been in early in a long time. Of course, that means Nick probably won't even come in, because you can't have both of them. Have you ever seen Frank Edler and Nick Zinn in the same room? No, you haven't, because I believe it's the same person. We're just poking fun of a Chad Lutsky. Are you one and the same? There are so many Chad Lutskys out there. It's such a common name, especially in the Midwest and Upper Canada and the Dark Continent. Come to think of it, I've never seen any of you in a room. Exactly. Yeah, so it's really, I'm going to be honest with you, Chad, you broke it. It's you and me in my various incarnations. So that's why I'm so confused right now. I'm in here like 50 times just typing. What would the imaginary Keith say? What would the imaginary Frank say? Oh, what a surprise! Giancarlo Stanton is on the injured list again for about the 800th time in his career. I hate that guy. I do got to get some writing in. I got about 500 words in so far today. That's it. But I did start early, and I finished a short story, and then cleaned it up a little bit, submitted it, and then I found another uh, submission thing, and then I am going to write something for that. But I also need to get this Southern Gothic noir thriller thing moving along. Yesterday, I watched the. My wife was at her mom's. She works every Tuesday from over there, so she was there till later. And I watched the 4-part Hulk Hogan thing on Netflix. She came in on like half an hour left of the fourth episode, and she immediately said, "Holy crap, does Linda Hogan look awful?" I'm like, "Well, she's 70, and she looks like she's 170." So yeah. Chet says, got 1,200 words in this morning, 2,600 yesterday. So far, the book is 7,000 words longer than the first owl. Nice. How close are you to being done with it? You still got a lot to go. Keith says, sounds like you'll have a lot of material to choose for your birthday collection. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know who you're talking at. Watched that. It was good. Then it got all political. Yeah, the last episode, like the first 3 episodes are great. A lot of positive Hogan stuff, when you were a kid and all that garbage. And then all the dumb things that he did and the ego and everything else, which was great. And then the last episode is basically that he's the one, because of Hulk Hogan, Donald Trump got elected. That's basically the vibe you get from it. It's the only reason that Trump got elected was because Hulk Hogan went and gave his speech and ripped his shirt off and all that garbage. What makes a story a Southern Gothic story? Sweet tea, grits? No, sweet tea and grits. Southern, set in the South, because that's where Southern is, South. Gothic is it's not really I keep saying Gothic. So now, and we've done this before, and I'm sure Chad will correct me like he always does. They say that S.A. Cosby is Southern Gothic noir thriller now. That's the updated version of things. Frank watched the first show. You never watch a whole thing. Every time, I'm like, hey, did you watch? This thing is in 6 parts. You're like, I watched the first 3, and then I gotta wait a week for you to watch the rest of it. Just tell your family, like, leave me alone. I got 4 hours of this. He says, I wrote 1,100 on memoir book 5 and 160 description of the Frogman for a short story to go with book 5. So I think I'm winning for today, Chad. I'm nearing the end. If I had to guess, it'd probably end up around 41 to 42,000. So yeah, you are really close. Nice. Good job, Keith. Southern Gothic has to be set in the South. No kidding. Yeah, isn't that weird? Good on you too, Chad. I found the first video where you mentioned Picasso trigger, and now it is forever tagged. Tom says, I forgot he made the boneheaded move of saying he's never done steroids on the Arsenio Halls. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Like, just shut up. Also, Southern Gothic noir has to have at least one character with tombstone teeth. I forgot about that part. That really is the definition. What is Southern Gothic noir thriller? Tombstone teeth. Do you really sit there for 4 hours watching a thing? That's insane to me. This is the thing for me last night. My back was on fire yesterday. I could not get comfortable. So I finally just took a bunch of pain pills and I laid on the couch with the pillow behind my back in like this weird crooked way. And I put it on and I literally did not move for like 4 hours. I got up because the dog was freaking me out and I was like, I gotta go to bed. Somebody with tombstone teeth eating grits, yes. Cheese grits. Cheese grits are much better. Always, whenever they ask, do you want cheese in your grits? Always say yes. So yeah, so I watched the whole thing. I like to just put something like that on and just watch through. Now, if it's a series like it comes out every week, I'll just tape them and maybe I'll watch them all. But a lot of times I'll watch one episode. That one was interesting enough. I'm like, what happens next? Frank says, Michael Shutter gave me a nice review on Haunted Hamburger House, so I know I'm readable. There you go. Cheese inside a hot dog, not that great. Yeah, I can't imagine that would be a good move. That's pushing it. You know what I'm saying? That's like pushing it. Like I always see on those people grilling, like they make the cheeseburgers, but they make the meat and then they stuff the cheese inside, and it's usually some weird kind of Korean blue cheese or something. I don't know. And I'm like, just melt the cheese on top of a burger. Why do you got to do it? That's just dumb. I would never. Of course, I eat my hot dogs naked, as us kids say. Speaking of which, I think Friday. What's today? Wednesday. Friday, I might go see the Sunshine Hot Dog Lady. Sunshine. Hopefully, it'll rain this weekend. We need the rain. Rain had Mr. Shook. I never considered a proper lady would attempt to read my books. Yeah, I think she was just trying to be nice to read a book from everybody. It's just you're not writing books for ladies. Not that lady. So because my back hurt, I have not walked much in the last couple days, which is not good. Because I was doing it, I lost a pound. I was eating better. Last night I made pierogies in the air fryer. I dipped them in salsa. And then today I had two little mini pizzas. And then when my wife comes home from work, I have no idea what we're going to do. We were supposed to have date night, but now she's got this dog that's staying with us for a couple 3 days. Hopefully the wildfires will go out. So what happened is it's just a rescue dog in a shelter, and because of the fires, they had to basically move all of the dogs and the horses and the cats and the gerbils and the ferrets and the chickens and the chupacabra. All of that basically had to find temporary homes. So um, that's where the dog came from. But the dog was a problem for Tom and Jess over there because they already have a dog, and then that dog is, I guess, way too hyper. I don't know. So we brought the dog here last night, even though I didn't want to, but my wife, it's her rules, and it was very unnerving for me to have another dog here. So we're supposed to go out for dinner, but we can't go out for dinner because then I'm afraid we're going to come home and it's going to be a West Side Story, uh, you know, Sharks and the Jets fight between the cats and the dogs here. Gotta respect Lorraine's honesty about the DNF, but she did very ladylike. She apologized. I can't do this, Frank. What were you thinking? She bought one of mine. She's too nice. Yeah. Dip them in some Papa Tony's chili oil. No. That's why when she said she was going to read Avonwood, I was like, hold on. Can I interest you in flies instead? She didn't DNF. I forbade her from reading further. That is true, Frank. But I think if you had begged her to finish it, she probably wouldn't have either. And she, being a consummate lady, respected my wishes. Like all ladies do with you, though, in all fairness, Frank. All ladies respect your wishes. All the consummates. Good call, Frank. That's what Haas says. Oh, and I'm burping on pizza. So I don't know if we've talked about this. I use a thing called Buffer to spread out my posts on my on my Facebook author page, on Blue Sky, and on Threads. That way, I don't have to actually go into any of those. I can just post at specific times every day, 2 or 3 times a day. It's the algorithm figured out what the best times for posting for me are, and it always adjusts it. I always double check. But anyway, so I was like, okay, this is good, and so you get 100 posts you can schedule as far out as you want, 100 of each. And then today, on one of them, I went over. I was like, oh, I got like 97, and so I can only post 3 things, and I accidentally set up scheduled 4, and I'm like, wait a minute, now that says 101, but it's always been 100. And then I looked it up, and they've bumped it to, and it's like $8 a month for each one, so it's like $24 a month I spend on this thing, tax write off. 5,000 posts for each one. Oh my god, there's no way I can barely get up to 100 before they drop off. I was like, well, at least that's good now. Now I know I could probably set it up and find a second or a third or fourth for each day now. So, a little happy about that. Frank says, I'm always like, please don't try to sleep with me. And the consummate ladies are always like, not a problem. Because they're consummate. That's the only reason. The non-consummate ladies, they sleep with you like crazy. Consummate reminds me of consomme. Now I'm hungry. Yeah. Consomme. So this Saturday I have a book signing, Palm Coast Library, me and 39 other authors. I've done it the last 2 years. I guess today or tomorrow, I got to set up, figure out a couple of crates worth of books I'm going to be taking with me and get all the other stuff together for it. I got hungry back when I mentioned grits. Yeah, right. Yeah, if I hadn't eaten lunch already, I've been like, "Do we have grits in the house? Can I even make grits?" I have no idea. Grits does sound good though. I got this book signing from 11 to 4, and my wife has stuff she's got to do on Saturday. So I was like, all right, well, I'll go down by myself. And then told my daughter, and she's like, I'll come and hang out. I said, good, because they make for lunch, they give us half a pub sub and some chips and a drink. So you can be my helper, and then they give you lunch. Then she said this morning that my mom was also going to come and hang out. I said, well, you two need to split a pub sub then, half a pub sub, because I don't share. I'm the celebrity. And she said, my daughter said, I keep forgetting that my dad is a celebrity. I said, don't ever forget that. I'm such a celebrity, I get an entire half a pub sub. Good luck with the boot finding. There'll be food. You'll have a ball. Yeah, they feed us. They feed us pub subs and a bag of chips and a drink. And there's like 40 of us. So they'll basically, she comes around. She's like, if you want to get lunch, it's in the break room. Okay. The first year when I did it, because they say how many are at your table, and you said two. So me and my wife both got a sub, half a sub, and then I just brought it back out into the library and sat at my table. And she's like, next time we're asking everybody to eat in the break room. Like, all right, well, the break room was packed with people. There was nowhere to sit, so not a problem. Consummate reminds me of sex. What? It's also the line I always use on my wife every time we got something new. We should consummate this new couch. I got a new T-shirt. We should consummate about it. That makes sense. That's why you have so many kids. Apparently, what I also learned in that Hulk Hogan documentary is that him and his wife had a lot, and I mean a lot of sex. A lot. Just tell her to call the cops if she's got a problem with it. Yeah. Oh, you don't want me eating here? Look, take a tomato and just throw it on the floor. Boom. What are you going to do? And then Sunday, Amanda comes over. We're going to get some writing in. So that means Sunday morning, Frank, Chad, Pete Marsh, we'll get some writing in. We talk a lot, which is fine. But sometimes I'm like, man, I also got to get some writing in. I do a Frank Edler. I cheat while everybody's talking. I start writing. Yeah, that'll get you invited back. Yeah, that definitely will stay on that list. Young Mike Whitmer was supposed to also do it, but he has a different signing in a different library in Jacksonville Beach that same day. He's like, I can't go all the way down there because I'm doing one 10 minutes from my house. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. It does make sense. Frank doesn't come much on Sundays now that I'm there. He's too busy consummating. Yeah, consummating his sleep time. Also, that venue isn't hip enough for him. That's probably also true. Yeah, the library one that he does, the Jacksonville Beach one, they do like it's not only a book signing, but it's also a cosplay and comic book thing or something like that. So he gets to see all the 12-year-olds walking around in their Pikachu outfits. Me, I just got a bunch of old people in Palm Coast that might or might not buy a book from me. I think I got to be there by like 10, which means like I probably leave at like 8:30 in the morning, and I know I'm going to get up Saturday and go, "Why did I agree to this? Why do I have to get up before 8 o'clock in the morning? This is absolutely ridiculous." How to make it add it to the long list on the post-it note to get the book signing stuff together. Two commercials with dogs on them that they're listening to us. There you go. Yesterday I basically just run most of them. I watched 3 times already, trying to get my 4,000 hours. But I'm just like, let me just do the whole playlist of like Twitch. It's like 131. It's got to be 150 hours worth. I just let it run for days. And Frank had a clothing survey. Nice. You're a sharp dressed man. That's probably why they asked you about it. And I noticed two things because I just have it on the second monitor, just watching it. I noticed two things. Number one, still getting a lot of golf videos or ads, and number two, it's it seems like every time I look over, I'm like, where'd I go? Like I always look over at the point in every video where I get up and go take a poop. Ches is great. Now I'm going to get commercials about couches. Yep. Creepy couches. Couch commercials. We all know what to do here now. Boobies. There you go. Frank says, I love a good couch commercial. I challenge you to find a bad couch commercial, though. You can't. You can't. 84 degrees out right now, which means it feels like 90,000 degrees out. Because you were talking about Tim Conway. That's probably what it is. Yep. Like, do we have any Dorf on golf commercials? No, but let's just give him golf commercials. Maybe let's just give him 500 of these. Close enough. I keep getting ads for Reedsy like stuff. But at this point, we should be all be getting Freedom Rock commercials. That I would watch. So I would tape it and watch it over and over. I tear up every time a Ray Moore and Flanagan commercial comes on. Frank Stallone. Frank Stallone. That's what we. I'm sure there's tons of Frank Stallone commercials. Should I talk about being broke? Would that help? No, because then you're just going to get stuff like financial ones. But maybe that'd be too on the head. They don't want us to be onto them. Yeah. Like now they're listening right now. And now they're like, let's just throw some random ones in right now. Let's just toss a couple of random in so that nobody knows that we're actually listening. Hmm. Yeah, then I just get credit card commercials. Yeah. I have never played golf in my life. I've never wanted to play golf in my life. There's Lorraine. Dudes, take it down a notch. 90% of these commercials should be good stuff. Okay, and never say y'all. Yeah, I think you have to. I think it's just a given, isn't it? I don't care what the commercials are, people. Watch them. Don't skip them. Watch them. I need to get paid. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Keith says you can't just say boobies on Armand Chanel because he's an ass man. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for saying that with Lorraine in the house. Used to be on a golf league for a year or two. Love golf, but it's been a long time. Really, I can't imagine you playing golf. But then there's a lot of things about you I don't understand. Hey, Lorraine, whoops, I meant to use an exclamation point. Okay, no more talk about consummation. Yeah. The gang should be all here, Lorraine. No Nick yet. He's probably blowing up half of Milwaukee looking for that treasure still. Frank's here. No Charlie yet either, I don't believe. But we got a nice little mix. Nice little mix. No Charlie, no no Lion King guy. Yes, Matthew the Lion King is not here yet. Charlie posted 2 Flash fiction pieces earlier in a Substack. I know, I read them. They were very good. I like the first one better, but the second one was not bad. Yeah, almost everybody. I mean, in theory, you're here, Frank. It's only a theory. I like the first one better too. Yeah. As a figment of someone's imagination, Frank. Yeah, pretty much. I love Figment the Dragon. Who doesn't love a purple dragon? Miss Frank is here only to tell people to stop reading his books. Which used to be Chuck Buddha. Why are some of these commercials infomercials that are 3+ minutes long? I don't know, but watch them. They're good. Speaking of dragons, new season of Skinwalker Ranch on Netflix. It's last season, but it's new to me. You never saw last season? I watch them as they go live. I watch them as they're filming them. Chuck Buddha doing book signings with him was always fun. Because Chuck would try to talk you out of buying his book. We always be like, Chuck, stop doing that. I'm still displaying Frank's book, just not opening up again. There you go. Ugh. Mm. Is Skinwalker Ranch horror? No, it's real. I don't know about real. It's more Skinwalker Ranch is more of, oh, there's aliens in the mesa, and we're gonna send up some drones, and some of the drones aren't gonna work, and this has never happened before, and then our phones are gonna do weird things and show the same videos every season, and then yeah, there was cattle mutilations in like one season, but now we don't talk about that anymore. Right, so I'm currently watching Darkwind season 4. I want to watch that. It's one of those shows that we will eventually watch, probably when it ends. Tom says it's horror in the sense that it's ridiculous. Yeah, is it real? Real is or anything's real? Real aliens and stuff. Yeah, but like yeah, there's weird globes and they're looking at their radar and there's weird stuff flying around the mesa and all kinds of weird noises and on and on and on. Dark Winds used to be well, yeah, yeah, we know. I think Dark Winds is based on Tom Hillerman's books, right? I'm not sure, but that does sound about right. Had to bite my tongue and stop my fingers from typing for a minute. I don't know what is exactly that's real, but there's scientists and a dragon, so it's got to be real. Yeah. Chad says I'm still on season 13 of Bold and the Beautiful, episode 175. Crap is hitting the fan as always. Wow, you only have 10,846 more episodes to catch up. Tom says Tony Hillerman, but yes. Yeah, who the hell is Tom Hillerman? I love how I was one of the first 3 here today, but still can't get a top 3 badge. Yeah, you're not even listed in my thing here. It's ridiculous. Thanks, Tom. I haven't read his books in years. I've got to get back into that. They were great. Lorraine says you're still hanging in there with Bold and the Beautiful, Chad. Your commitment is impressive. Yes, he's a consummate professional. After nearly 3,000 episodes, I'd be a fool to give up on Ridge at this point. Ridge. Isn't that the one with more blonde women in one show than anything out of Sweden? PSA, Nick Newman is addicted to fentanyl on Young and Restless. Lorraine says, I have a cousin who named his son Ridge after that character, Mercy. Wow. That does seem a little ridiculous. Consumed eating consommate. Yeah. Consomme. So Skinwalker Ranch is just an alien seeker show like the one they had for Ghosts. Which one for Ghosts? There's 4,000 of them for Ghosts. Yeah, they. It's basically a lot of history on the ranch, real or imagined, and that's basically the premise. Is this is a there's got to be a portal in the mesa for alien spaceships coming and going in our world, and we're gonna find it. And then every episode is we found nothing and we have more questions. And they have like a legit scientist there and a legit security guy named Dragon. But comes to find out he's not the first Dragon, right, Frank? He's not the first Dragon. There was a guy named Dragon on the ranch before they started filming the show, before this team took over. Tom says, I have two friends, doubtful. I have two friends who were in soap operas, which seems like a disproportionate amount of friends to be on soap opera. Yeah, that does sound. If you said, I had one friend who was on a soap opera, I'd be like, all right, chances are 1 in a million, but the chances of two friends are 1 in a billion. Yeah, Haas agrees. It is disproportionate. Everyone stop typing for a second so Frank can get a badge. I don't even think he's going to get a badge then. I think Frank could comment 57 more times. No badges. And as soon as somebody else posted a comment after that, then he would lose the badge. So it would really be worth it. Would he really feel like he earned it? I don't think he would feel like he earned it. Yeah, we don't need a stinking badge, as Keith says, as he has the number 1 badge. I can't keep quiet that long, Marie. Exactly. I earned that badge ironically. Yeah, Frank agreed. It won't matter. You know, Frank lives a blessed life. He doesn't need our help. Everybody wants to turn my books into movies, at least according to these fake spam emails today. YouTube values Keith's content over mine because you say some naughty things, and they just don't like it. Big Brother's getting all my commercials wrong. Is when Putty Mouth does not equate to Frank's. Yeah, that's a top tier, number 1 top fan potty mouth he's got. You do live a consummated life. I agree. Hmm. Whoa, whoa. Missed a lot here. Who here has read Flowers in the Attic? No spoilers, please. You're lucky you said that because I was going to tell you that the spoiler alert is there's no sunlight in the attic and the flowers die. Haas says, me too. I'm always getting screwed. Lorraine's read it. Potty mouth, that's extreme. I've read several VC Andrews. Several, Keith. I'm worried. Flowers in the Attic is one of them. Chess, I've heard good things about it. Bought a new copy a few years ago and looking forward to reading it. I still see people reading it and talking about it. Tom says, I did. One of the books that was actually written by VC Andrews. Lorraine watched the movie too. Keith says something that potty mouth, don't say that. Ladies in the house, Lorraine says dark, twisted stuff. Frank says, I drove my 16-year-old and her two friends to school this morning and Everlong by Foo Fighters came on. Stop with the potty mouth. Lorraine's saying things we're not supposed to be talking about. Frank says, my daughter was all like, I like this song. It's rough. Spoiler alert. Everlong rough. My oldest daughter is named after a character in Flowers in the Attic. His oldest daughter's name, Lucius. I can't remember their names, just a feeling that I needed a shower and therapy after. Lucius. That's a name, huh? If I ever have another child, boy or girl, I'm naming it Lucius. Or if I get a hamster. Frank says, correct. What are you doing back here? There's my little fighter trying to fight the giant dog last night. Little Fighter, White Lion. That's one of those songs that my wife has heard so many times on Hair Nation. Like I always say, oh, your song is on. Like she likes that song. It's catchy. For instance, I'm sorry, Chad. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. That happens. I think one of Jeremiah's 80s kids is named Lucius. He has another named Athanasius and one named Wolfgang. White Lion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, right. Little Fighter. That song is written about Greenpeace people trying to stop the Chinese fishing boats or something. My daughter Wolfgang. Yep, your daughter Wolfgang. Your daughter Wolfgang and your other daughter Lucius. No one can watch a movie with me that I've already seen for the same reason. What can I name my kid that guarantees a hard time in high school? Yeah. Usually just add an apostrophe or three in the middle of their name for no reason. A lot of poetry on Substack, I'm noticing. Some might say too much. Sue if it's a boy. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? That's nothing anymore. What's funny is um, my wife's cousins, two males, brothers, Shannon and Kendall. And I was watching one of those. I think it was Shark Week. I was watching two chicks were hunting for like lemon sharks or something, and the girls' names were Shannon and Kendall. So that was kind of funny. Johnny Cash, Lorraine. She got the reference. Where else are you going to publish poetry? I mean, that's true. You could laugh and go, where are you going to make money on poetry? Muffy. It's okay, Lorraine. Unfortunately, I already knew there was instances, but when I watch a movie or read a book, I prefer not knowing the genre. I never read synopses or watch trailers. Lorraine watches all the trailers. That's how you two differ. Lorraine loves a trailer. I used to call her Trailer Lorraine because she watched so many. I knew a girl, not her. I knew a girl, Trailer Park Lorraine. Whole different story. I got another chapter done. Just as trailers these days put the entire movie in it. Yeah, I never watch trailers for anything. I hate going into something blind. Trailer Park Stacy. Yeah, my second ex-wife. Skullface Boyd Duffy. I don't like most contemporary poetry. Did Trailer Park Stacy have tombstone teeth? Tombstone teeth. You weren't here for that story, Tom? When I went to the get my oil changed, the place you went with me one time, and some lady came in, big chubby blonde, great set of curves on her. Her hair all poofed up, tight jeans, all of that. And then she looked. They had just pulled the my pickup truck out of the bay, and she said, "God damn, whose pretty truck is that?" And the guy behind the counter was smiling, and he pointed at me, and she turned. She's like, "Wow, that's a nice truck," and she had crazy teeth. And when she went outside, the guy behind the counter said, if she didn't open her mouth, she'd be pretty hot. And I said, yeah, she got like meth mouth. And he said, no, those are tombstone teeth. Tombstone teeth. And I laughed. Chad says, "Oh, I love it. It's the best way. Then I have no expectations and I'm not analyzing everything. Every page or scene is unpredictable until it's not." Yeah. Chiller Park Stacy had tombstone teeth. Shel Silverstein, greatest poet ever. I'll take your word for it. Where it says, "Hey, I've lived in a couple of trailers in my day." No trailer parks though. I did live in a trailer park when I was married to the first ex, soon to be ex-wife. That marriage lasted like 11 months. We did live in a trailer. We lived in a trailer 2 trailers down from my buddy George Martin, not George R. Martin. George R. Martin, he owned the trailer park. Tom says, "I was there with you for the skinny meth guy who wanted advice about cutting off mufflers." Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. There's always a lot of meth people that come in there to get their cars done. There's Charlie. There's actually 3 trailers, but that's a story for another book. There's Charlie. Charlie, we were just talking about your flash fiction from today. Keith said he hated him. He hated both stories. They were awful. Don't quit your day job. That's a direct quote from Keith. Actually, they were both very good. Shel Silverstein wrote A Boy Named Sue. All right, we're getting heavy into the weeds here, Haas. I love throwing the information in there for everybody. Nice. Chad says, "I stayed in someone's trailer for about a week when I was 21 until I finally said, Chad, get off my couch." Lorraine says, "I just realized I tend to use the same greeting word that you guys use when I say hello back. I know, that's a weird thing to notice. I haven't eaten lunch yet, so." Charlie says, "Oh no, my life is over." Try, I'm just kidding. He really, Keith really did like it. He really did like it. Don't stop writing now because Keith said he didn't like it. Actually, I wasn't happy with the amount of "on" in the opening word territory. Chess says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 the professor's here." Haas, he really wrote that, or is that a joke? You joshing us? I'm starved, literal mind, right now, so nobody mess with me. Uh-oh. Mine's gonna cut off one of your limbs and put some ketchup on it and eat it. I would not put ketchup on your limbs. I don't like ketchup. She's gonna go all Donner Party on you. Imagine being Josh and messing with people so much that your name becomes a verb. Yeah. Good job, Josh. Probably Josh Peck, the great, great actor. I'm 100% sure that I'm 80% sure he wrote that. I mean, I don't even know who the hell Shel Silverstein is. Sheldon Allen, Shel Silverstein, a multifaceted American artist, known for his work as a cartoonist, poet, songwriter, and children's author. First gained fame for his cartoons in Playboy magazine. He later wrote best-selling children's books. He died in 1999 in Key West, Florida. Nice, not a bad place to die. Several Grammy Awards. Yeah, he won a Grammy Award for Best Country Song in 1970 for writing A Boy Named Sue, famously performed by Johnny Cash. Makes me feel sorry for all the guys named Google. Let's Armand the crap out of this. Charlie had no idea he wrote that. Neither did I. His daughter, Shoshana, after he had with Susan Hastings in 1970. After Hastings' death in 1975, the girl went to live with grandparents, and she died at the age of 11 of a brain aneurysm. That's not good. I'm trying to type fast on my phone, and the words come out nonsensical. I throw my phone across the room and say, "Quit franking around, phone." Yeah, exactly. A Light in the Attic by Shel Silverstein, despite being a beloved children's classic, faced significant controversy in bans in the 80s and 90s, ranking 51st on the ALA's 100 most frequently challenged books. Critics, including parents and school districts, argued the poems promoted disobedience, violence, Satanism, cannibalism, and suicide. When he died, his estate was valued at $20 million. Upon his death at age 68 from a heart attack, it was reported that a teenager was the sole heir to his fortune, with the estate handled without a former will. He had a main residence in Key West, Florida, and previously owned an eccentric houseboat in Sausalito. He registered over 800 songs and sold 14 million books. Ryan says, "Oh, I choked on my laugh on that one, Chad." Chad says, "It's way too close to Positive Friday to read about sad news." That's only Wednesday. Sorry, Frank, but it is funny. Haas says, "When I was a kid, everybody was reading Silverstein books." Tom says, "That's what poetry should promote. I can barely type on this laptop with any speed, much less the tiny keys on my phone." Key says, "Don't threaten me with a good time." Didn't Silverstein write that tree book too? I'm sure he wrote a tree book, yes. Guy wrote a lot of books. I think it was called The Giving Tree, Haas says. So there you go. I had no idea that that was even a person until Haas mentioned it. So nice, nice going. I've learned all about that person that I want to know. Appreciate it. Glad I could expand everyone's horizons for once. Charlie thinks that's it. People on Next Door App are arguing about Planet Fitness. People just sitting on a machine on their phone for 20 minutes. I want to get my workout in. Then we're blaming the young generation, even though nobody said it was a young person doing it. And other people are saying, everybody's got their opinion. I bought a weight set for my house. I can't be bothered paying fees and blah blah blah. No one said anything about that. Shut up. Stop posting on Nextdoor app, Tom Duffy. People on Nextdoor are incredibly ridiculous. None of them know how to spell. None of them. And they just keep fighting with each other. What you got, Mr. Mailman? Nothing. Son of a bitch. Sure, more junk. But you know what I read every day? Nextdoor app. They were arguing yesterday because of the fires. I'm like, the fires are nowhere near this neighborhood. Where the fires are literally 50 miles away from us. If that fire moved, those wildfires moved and burned everything between here and 50 miles, then yeah, we're going to die. Until then, shut up. You know what? Stay out of Georgia then. Nextdoor, yeah, it's an app. It's like you punch in your address, and then anybody in your area that is commenting on the app about dumb things, then it's like a community thing. It's supposed to be to build community, and all it does is just people just fight on it all the time. When's the pool open? When's the pool open? The pool is open. Somebody's like, no, the pool is not open. If you go to the gate, it's closed. No, the pool opens whatever, Memorial Day weekend. Well, it's not Memorial Day weekend yet. No, but it opened, and then they just go back and forth, and then nobody knows how to spell. They are just ignorant people on there. And I'm like, these are people that are just home during the day that don't have jobs. And then you have a lot of people who say, my kids are starving and I can't find a job, or I don't want to work. And can somebody give me food? There's tons of that on there. And tons of scams. When the hell is Memorial Day? 25th. Community belly aching sounds thrilling. But it's so over the top ridiculous. And I also like to see, because again, it's like whatever it is, 5 square miles from where you live kind of thing. But I always like to see the people in my neighborhood that are on there all the time. There was a guy, how was his name? His name on here is Bob Newhart. I don't know if it was the real Bob Newhart. I doubt it. His house is like the first or second when you first pull into this development. Now, this development has 300 houses in it. And he is up near the pool area and the play area. And apparently he always walks his dog out there. And basically he's got this giant dog that barks and growls at people. And everybody's like, who's the old guy that walks around with the dog barking and scaring the kids? And then he's on here. Mind your own damn business. It's a public park. I can do whatever I want. I'm one of the first residents here before all you people moved in. And then apparently there was a couple years ago, there was a wave of kids that were ringing doorbells and running away, which has been happening since, doorbells were invented. And he had a picture, and it's 2 kids that are 2 African American children. And he says, who owns these things? Tell your damn kids to stop ringing my doorbell. And it was like, somebody's like, wow, racist much? And he's like, when if the shoe fits, wear it, or something like that. So then he's arguing with everybody who's black in the community. And I'm like, oh, you're going to end up getting killed. I haven't heard from him in about a year. Somebody probably killed him. What about Georgia? The commercial interfered with what you were saying. I don't repeat myself Basically, I said anybody that I know in Georgia, if you answer within the next 8 seconds, I will give you $1,000,000. You did not answer? No. About the wildfires in Georgia and Florida, because I'm 15 minutes from the border. So these wildfires are just everywhere. And we have gotten no rain. We're supposed to get rain Saturday, Sunday, I hope. Honestly, that sounds great for mining Ryder gold out of. Yeah. I hadn't had. Can you repeat the story? No, just watch it later. It was a long story. I feel like I missed a huge chunk of the chat. Time warp? Not really. Just basically the Nextdoor app people are idiots. And there's a wildfire. Actually, there are several wildfires in Florida and Georgia right now. Every time a commercial comes on, I have to back up the video, playback the video at 1.5 speed just to catch up. I appreciate you watching the video, though. I appreciate you watching all the... So yeah, that happened too, Charlie. Basically, just people in this neighborhood are insane. None of them know how to spell. Everybody argues with each other. And I read every single one of them. Don't trust this painter. He said he was going to paint my whole house, and I would have to pay him half the money up front. I'm not just giving him money up front. Like, what? He's got to buy supplies and stuff, somebody would say. No, if you're a company like that, you already have paint on hand. So he has your exact color you want. He's got it already on hand in his warehouse. Ooh, egg noodles. Almost forgot to write egg noodles on my list. I also added French bread pizza. That's what happens, and it bumps me to the bottom of the screen out of the chat sometimes. I refuse to admit out on any of your wisdom, Army. You know what? If this is wisdom for you, whatever. Dang it, I missed half the story. Charlie says, yes, ma'am. Egg noodles are good with butter and salt. They really are. You know what egg noodles are better with? Beef stroganoff. Beef tips. You just make some beef tips. I made chicken cutlets last Monday. Chicken cutlets, egg noodles, and then some corn for dinner. Egg noodles are one of those things that I could just make an entire bag of egg noodles and some butter and some salt, and I could just eat that, and I love it. It's like eating stovetop for me. That's a meal. A bag of egg noodles is a meal. A box of stovetop, that's a meal. Keith, come on. I'm several hours from the Georgia-Florida line. I think next week? No, a couple weeks. On the 12th, on Tuesday the 12th, I'm going to be interviewing Kyra Ruda at the Mandarin Library, if anybody's around. I am the interviewer. That's a paying gig, too, which is nice. But my wife will be Monday, Tuesday. She will be in Atlanta for work. Thankfully, no. Yeah, you got no wildfires up there. You said the punchline. You realize that the feed moves differently than me talking, so I have no idea what I even said. Something about egg noodles. Am I just that slow today? What punchline? I don't know what he's saying. He says these damn commercials. It's all good. I'll repeat anything you want me to repeat if you just tell me what you missed. Beef stroganoff. Oh, okay. I see it. Lorraine says yes. Lorraine, did you hear the story about Bob Newhart in my area? the top of the block. Did you hear that one? I'm guessing Haas is also now in commercial purgatory. I didn't set it any different. Seems like you guys are getting a lot, which is good. Making me money. Making me money. This is all we're really here about. Dumb stories and money. Just a guy named Bob Newhart, an old man with a giant dog that growls and barks at people at the pool area and the play area up front. And then basically is like, well, you better keep your little brat kids away from my dog. And then two African American boys rang the doorbell and ran away, which is what kids always do. And then he basically said, "Who owns either of these things?" And somebody's like, "Wow, racist much?" And basically he was like, "Well, if the shoe fits, wear it." And then he argued with people about, basically he argued with people about how black people had all the breaks, and him as an old white man, he gets nothing, and blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? But then he just about a year ago, then he stopped coming on. I'm like, they probably killed him. Lorraine says egg noodles. Nope, can't do it even with butter, but they're better than spaghetti. But these days they all have to be gluten free. I love egg noodles. Yeah, Atlanta's about 2 hours away. Yeah. Atlanta for us is about 5.5 hours away. I'm with you, Lorraine. If I even think about bread, I gain a pound. That's why I weigh 340 something pounds, because of bread. In fact, I took a pound of meat out for dinner, chuck meat, chuck Buddha meat. And then I will probably have to, hopefully we'll have some bread with it tonight. Because we got 47 loaves of bread. My wife was buying that wild grains. Tries also about 5 hours from Atlanta. Frank is also 5 hours from Atlanta. Or no. Mississippi's closer than I thought. Mississippi Queen, you know what I mean. Yep, just an Alabama away. But Alabama is that fast to get through. How fast are you driving? He drives about 1,000 miles an hour. 137 miles per hour. Or as those in Wisco call it, sippy. Exactly. Driving that I-10 going to Biloxi and back, and my West is like, Do we hit the time change yet? I'm like, no, we're like 10 minutes out of Jacksonville. Relax. And then at some point, she's like, did the clock change? I'm like, I think so. When I had a Fitbit, it would never change the time. So I would always know. Tom says, Alabama isn't that wide of a state, maybe 200 or so miles. Yeah, it's like 12 miles of Alabama on I 10. It's like, oh, we're out of Florida. Oh, we're into Alabama. Oh, we're in, Mississippi, whatever. Oh, we're in Cuba now. Maybe not Cuba. I've been in that direction since I was a little kid. West? God, what are you doing? West, yes. Yes. She says yes. Driving anyway. Adam West, yes, Keith, you're in the conversation still. You are so close. The Donner Party went west, and look what happened to them. Yeah, look what happened to the Donner Party. I mean, not all of them. Some of them ate well. Yes, Adam West, I'm rather agreeable today. I tagged a few of you in that Evil Knievel thing. Did you check it out? I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm guessing you did not uh, tag me in an Evil Knievel thing. Like 10 days ago. That's so long ago. Why are we bringing it up now? Ooh. All right, my back is really hurting. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I mean, you clicked like on it after I tagged you. I don't know. 10 days ago. Oh, remember that thing from 10 days ago? No, I don't remember anything from 10 days ago. If you said, hey, that thing from 10 hours ago, you maybe had a shot with me, Chad. Otherwise, I don't know what the hell you're even talking about. You know what? We'll talk about it more tomorrow. Right? Yeah, I got nothing planned for tomorrow. I'll be here. Hopefully, my back will be feeling better. Some of us don't get tagged, Keith. Let's go stand in the corner. Yeah, Keith received no tag either. Well, now we all know who Chad doesn't think is important enough to know about Evil Knievel. Yeah. Do you even know who Evil Knievel is, Tom? I doubt it, because Chad doesn't think you do. All right, everybody, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all of the commercials. I appreciate it. Trying to get paid here. When I was put in the corner as a kid, I had to do it on my knees. Keith, what are we doing today? The only Facebook friends who were on here that day was Armand Frank. Yeah. See? No clue. I will see everybody tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.